Thank you for joining me today for this very special video. My name is Ron Myers. I'm one of the founders of Go Zone Trading. For those of you that are familiar with the Go Zone indicator, know how effective it can be in assisting you with your trading. For the uninitiated, the Go Zone indicator helps you identify trends in any market and in any time frame. If you're not familiar with the Go Zone indicator, I would highly recommend you go to GoZoneTrading.net and view the videos on our Trading Academy. What I'm going to share with you today will change the way you trade forever. Today we're introducing our Go Zone automated trading bot. This is not a scalping bot or a get-rich-quick scheme. This is based on a solid, consistent trading plan using the Go Zone ATB indicator. By the end of this video, you'll see how effective this tool can be. But first, before we get started, as always, take a moment, pause this video, and read our disclosure. This video is for educational purposes, and there is always an inherent risk of losing money when trading, so never risk money you can't afford to lose. We at Go Zone Trading believe that identifying the trend early on in a trade is one of the crucial things that sets successful traders apart from struggling ones. However, by far not the only thing. Going with the flow is much easier than swimming upstream. Before we get into this wonderful tool, let's look at 7 main components that we believe that is imperative to becoming a consistent trader. Before you get into panic mode and exit this video, I'll tell you the total length of this video is 36 minutes and worth every second of your time. Identifying a trend and taking action as soon as a trend develops is a pro's plan of attack. Many struggling traders lack the confidence and find it difficult to recognize a trend early enough to take advantage of the move. Having a consistent, effective trading plan is a key to success. When you approach trading like a business and you lay out a solid trading plan, you're on the right track to prosperity. Struggling traders do not have a clearly defined plan, which means there is no consistency in their trading. Successful traders always adhere to their trading plan. You can have the most consistent trading plan in the world, however, sometimes the market doesn't cooperate. Seasoned traders know this and do not panic or deviate from their strategy. Struggling traders do not have a successful trading plan. They lack the confidence to stick to any plan and tend to switch things up constantly, which only adds to their fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Seasoned traders leave their emotions out of their trading. If you have a solid strategy, there's nothing to get emotional about. Emotions are one of the main things that keep struggling traders from being profitable. Without a good strategy, trading can be a very stressful activity. When you are stressed, it is hard to make good, solid decisions. We all know bad decisions cost you profits. Risk management. A successful trader has a well thought out, unwavering risk management strategy in place and will never deviate from those boundaries that they have set. Struggling traders choose their risk from their feelings. Most of the time risk too much, only visualizing the upside, rarely considering the downside. By the way, this is the best way to blow out your trading account. The next 2 components are difficult for every trader, seasoned or struggling. Fatigue encompasses many things. Seasoned traders know not to trade if they're not 100%. If they're tired or sick or not focused, they are not above making bad decisions, which in trading means loss of capital. Many struggling traders will continue trading regardless how they feel, usually out of fear of missing out, which usually adds to their loss of capital and frustration. This last one we wish we all had more of: time. Seasoned traders know they have a limited amount of time they can devote to their trading. This is why they know the markets they trade very well. They know when the best time to trade those markets are to get the most from the time they spend in front of their computer. Struggling traders will trade many different markets and sit for hours when the market is in a consolidation period, wasting time, getting fatigued, leading to more bad trading decisions. Time is a big issue to overcome. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned veteran or a struggling trader. We all have busy lives and we have more important things to occupy our time than trading, like family, friends, your health, hobbies, and work. Most people can't trade when they're at their day job, so they are forced to trade markets after work, missing prime trading hours. Or markets they want to trade are on the other side of the world and open in the middle of the night while they sleep. Let's face it, though trading can be financially rewarding, it also comes with many time constraints. The ability to trade your successful strategy stress-free without having to sit in front of your computer all day would be a perfect solution. Which brings us back to the GoZone Automated Trading Bot. The GoZone ATB allows you to set up your trading plan based on the GoZone ATB indicator. Simply input your trading plan and watch the GoZone ATB execute your trades more precisely than humanly possible. If you are a day trader and has the time and likes to trade shorter time frames, you're aware that entering a trade properly is crucial for success, and it's very difficult to get right. That is until the GoZone ATB. Turn on the ATB and let it help you manage your trading plan. Watch as the GoZone ATB execute your entries better and quicker than you ever could. Trading shorter time frames means more decisions and less time to make them. This causes for a very stressful trading day. With the GoZone ATB, that anxiety is no more. You're not worried about what to do next. The GoZone ATB already knows what to do next and sticks to your trading plan to a T. If you're more comfortable trading longer time frames, the GoZone ATB has got you covered. You simply input your trading plan, turn on the GoZone ATB, which sets your trading plan in motion with no fear that you'll lose out on fantastic trading opportunities while you're otherwise occupied. This means you can trade those markets that you did not have access to before due to time constraints. You can finally take advantage of those prime trading hours, whether you're spending time with your family, working your day job, or even sleeping. You can set up push alerts and or email alerts that go directly to your smartphone to let you know when a trade is setting up or a current trade is just closed. This is a very subtle way of keeping tabs on how your trading day is going. The GoZone ATB has built-in safeguards to prevent you from blowing out your account in spite of the fact that you're not glued to your computer screen. The GoZone ATB is the closest thing you're ever going to get to being in two places at the same time. Whether you're a seasoned trader or a struggling one, the GoZone ATB can help you with your trading. If I've piqued your interest, then settle in and let's look at everything the GoZone ATB has to offer. We'll first look at how to set up a trading plan on the ATB, then a winning trade, a losing trade, and why we use the 75-25 method. This is a setup page for the GoZone ATB on the MT4 Expert Advisor. Here we'll input a complete trading plan for the ATB to execute. We'll go through each line so you can get a better understanding of the power of this tool. The first section we'll be looking at today is risk management. Here is where you'll input the amount of your account you want to risk in this trade. Industry standards recommend you do not risk more than 2% of your account on any given trade, but again, that's entirely up to you. Whatever the percentage you choose, the GoZone ATB will do the calculations and place the proper trade. If you know the lot size that you're comfortable trading, you can enter it here. By entering a specific lot size, the ATB will override the percentage field and place the trade as you dictate. Here's where you input your stop loss. This is to protect your account in the event the trade goes completely against you. On longer time frames, you obviously need larger stops than on shorter time frames. Your stop factors into your lot size when using the risk percentage per trade field at the top of this input page. So knowing the market you're trading is very important. Every broker has a minimum stop loss they will accept on each trade. You must know what that minimum is. If you do not, and you set the ATB to enter a trade below your broker's minimum, when there is a signal, the ATB will enter the trade, and then your broker will promptly stop you out, causing you to lose capital. This is why you paper trade, so you can test the limits of the market and your broker. Trading time parameters. Here's where you'll set the time you want the ATB to trade. In the opposition, the bot will ignore the next two fields will turn on as soon as you finish setting up the rest of your strategy and not shut off again until you do it manually. If you want to trade specific times, then turn the ATB to the on position. The start time is when you want the ATB to turn on. This is very handy if you want to trade when a market opens and you're completely unavailable. This is always the time on your chart. For example, if your broker's data feed is in the UK and you live in Asia, and you want to trade the FTSE 100 when the market opens, then you would set the ATB to start at 8 a.m., even though it may be 2 p.m. where you live. It sounds confusing, but simply put, the time you want the bot to turn on and off is always based on what your chart says. The end time is when you want the ATB to stop trading for you. If you're in a trade when the bot shuts off, the ATB will still manage your trade as if the bot was still on until its conclusion. However, it will not put you into a new trade. The auto close on Friday. If you're trading longer time frames and you do not like to stay in an ongoing trade over the weekend, this will close your trades at the time that you indicate here if you have this feature turned on. Entry settings. This is how you're going to enter each trade. Buffer pips. Every entry is done by confirmation, which means the confirmation candle must trade higher or lower than the setup candle depending on the direction of the GoZone ATB indicator. The buffer pips is how much above or below the setup candle the market must trade before the ATB triggers your entry. On slow-moving markets, this may be set as 0. On fast-moving markets or longer time frames, you may want to set it at 1 to 5 points. Again, this is up to you, the market you trade, and the time frame you're trading. The exit settings. This is how you're going to manage the exit of your trade. Exit percentage. This is how much of the trade you're going to close when the trade comes out of the Go Zone. You can exit 100%, of course, but as you see, I have this set at 75%. And I will show you a little later in this video why. Partial take profit. To be successful, you always want to take profit when the market is going in your favor. This is just good, solid risk management. You want to set a realistic number that your market should be able to hit in a normal trading day. Ideally, double of what your stop is, but it doesn't have to be. Paper trading will give you a great idea what this number should be. Partial take profit percentage. This is the percentage of the trade you want to close when your partial take profit target is hit. Again, you can put whatever percentage in here that you want, so long as it does not exceed 100%. Pros claim a good practice is to close out 50% of your trade when this target is reached. Final take profit. This is the number that you would love your trade to hit, and if it does, you're happy to close out your trade and be out of the market completely, even if price action is still within the GoZone ATB indicator. Why would you want to do this? Well, if you know your market well, you know that on good days the trend will go so far and then start to retrace. If you're choosing a final take profit at the normal high of that range, you have a good chance to avoid the inevitable retracement, thereby maximizing the profit on this trade. Maximum loss gain settings. Total daily loss. This is the percentage you are willing to lose while the ATB is turned on any given market. For example, if the GoZone ATB is on while you're at work and it's a horrible rangy day in the market and you suffer many small losses, your count draws down, in this case 10%. The bot will shut off. As good as the GoZone is, it cannot control market conditions, and nothing works in a rangy market. You can set this number to be anything you want. No one wants to have a bad day in the market, but it happens. With the GoZone ATB, you have the peace of mind knowing your account will not be blown out while you're not looking. Maximum gains. Many of you are wondering why you'd want to put a cap on your gains. Well, let's say that you're in the market and it's going crazy fast in your direction in anticipation of some news or report later in the day. Your account goes up by 10%, which is a fantastic result. Then the news comes out, and it's not what people expected, and the market is perplexed on the news and doesn't know what to do and goes into a range. You then end up giving back most of the 10% that you were up. Remember, bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. All that remains is to click the OK button, and the GoZone ATB is ready to execute your trading plan without hesitation, stress, or emotions. Okay, let's look at this GoZone ATB in action. Once again, this is not financial advice, this is for demonstration purposes only. Our first step is to set up the GoZone ATB with our trading plan. We'll be trading the Japan market today on a 5-minute time frame. We'll be risking 2% on this trade. We'll let the GoZone ATB calculate what our lot size will be. In other words, how much we'll be risking per point. Our stop loss we will set at 50 points. We're going to turn on set time parameters, and I'm going to set the start time at 1 a.m. That is the time in the UK and on my chart that the Japanese cash market opens. Bother with these next fields since we are day trading and I'll be watching the charts the whole time. Buffer pips, I'm going to leave at 0 for a very quick entry. Upon exiting the Go Zone, the ATB will close out 75% of my trade. My first take profit points, this target will be at 100 points. When that target is reached, the GoZone ATB will close out 50% of my trade. My final take profit target will be 150 points. If that target is reached, the GoZone ATB will close me out of the trade completely. I'm going to leave the maximum loss gain percentages at 10%. And the last thing I have to do is hit OK. And here we have the Japanese market on a 5-minute time frame. Unfortunately, I neglected to turn on my screen recording, and we're about 80 minutes into the trade. From the open, there was a short signal, but it did not confirm, so the bot did not put me in. However, on the next long opportunity, the GoZone ATB entered the market here on confirmation. It moved up 100 points, and we hit our first take profit target. It took 50% at the 100-point mark, because we instructed it to on our setup form shown here. That first target hit netted us approximately $230. Our final take profit target is 150 points, represented by this red dotted line highlighted here. You will find the final take profit section at the bottom of the setup page as shown here. In the interest of time, I will now speed up this recording until the GoZone ATB executes a new task. While we are waiting for the market to move, I think this would be a good time to address these two icons at the bottom of the page. The first one is a pause button. For any reason, after you have your trading plan set up and the GoZone ATB is turned on, you decide you do not want to enter a trade. Simply click this button and the GoZone ATB will not enter the trade. You may want to use this if the setup candle spikes many times more than a normal candle for the market you're trading. We know if you have a big spike, then the chances are you will have an immediate retracement and you do not want to get in at the top of that spike. The second icon is a second chance button. There may be a time where your internet is slow or you lose connection or your broker just cannot process all the orders coming in at the same time, and the GoZone fails to place your trade. If this happens, you can click on the second chance button and place the trade manually, and the GoZone ATB will then follow your trading plan as you have it laid out. This rarely happens, but when it does, it's usually on a shorter time frame. I will have a training video on all the uses of the second chance button on our website in the Training Academy. Now let's get back to our trade, the Japanese market on a 5-minute time frame. Here you can see that price action has just moved out of the Go Zone. You can also see that the GoZone ATB has closed out 75% of our trade, banking us about another $162. The ATB closed out 75% of our trade as we instructed on our strategy setup page as shown here. So far we've banked $392 and we still have 25% of our trade remaining. Okay, let's speed this recording up again until the GoZone ATB has another task to perform. The Go Zone ATB just closed out the last 25% of the trade, as you can see by our trade data, which is at zero, which means we are not in a trade at the moment. It did this because the first candle in an opposing trend closed within the Go Zone. We banked another $26 for a total of $419 so far. In less time than it took me to explain this, the Go Zone ATB has entered the market going short. Again, as you can see on your screen, the summary of our first trade, $419. So to recap, within seconds of closing the first trade, the Go Zone ATB automatically entered the second trade, going short. It still is following your trading plan with the same risks, stops, and profit targets. Once again, we will speed up this recording until the Go Zone ATB executes another task. Okay, we have just hit our 100-point target. Now the Go Zone ATB has closed out 50% of this trade, and now we are looking for our 150-point final take profit target. Okay, we have hit our final take profit target of 150 points, and the Go Zone ATB has done its job and closed us out of this trade. Even though we're still in the Go Zone, we've hit both targets, so we're satisfied with this particular trade. So let's review everything that we've done thus far and how the Go Zone ATB has performed. So we entered here, we took our first 100-point partial take profit here, and just a few minutes later we hit our 150 final take profit, which took us out of this trade 100%. As a grand total today, we made $1,032 on an $11,000 account, which gives you about a 9% growth on your trading account in approximately 3.5 hours. So we're satisfied with our trading day, so there's nothing left to do but to shut off the Go Zone ATB and call it a day. This was a pretty awesome and profitable day trading the Japan market on a 5-minute time frame. However, not every trade goes this well. Stick around and I will show you what a losing trade looks like using the Go Zone ATB. Okay, here I'm trading the NASDAQ 100 on a 5-minute time frame. I have the ATB turned on, but I want to check my settings. And I realize that I have the bot set up for the NASDAQ 100 off hours, which means I have a 30-point stop, which I found to be sufficient when not trading the cash market. However, we are now in the cash market, so I need to change my stop to 50 points. I've saved a template for the cash market so I do not have to go into my setup page and re-enter my complete trading plan every time I want to trade this market. Some of you may have noticed that the template said Germ 5 minute live. The reason for this is I use the same settings for the NASDAQ 100 and the DAX on a live market. So all I have to do is click the template and the GoZone ATB is turned on and ready to execute my trading plan. I'm sure you're wondering why I would show the GoZone ATB fail on a video. Well, there are several reasons. Number one, I want everyone to know this is not a magic wand or a get-rich-quick scheme or give you the illusion that you'll never have a losing trade again. I assure you, you will. Losing trades are part of trading. 2, I want to make sure my clients do not think they can just turn the GoZone on and run it 24/7. In a month, they'll be able to buy a new private jet. Every market has prime trading hours and consolidation periods. Normally, if you run the GoZone ATB during the prime hours and turn it off during the consolidation periods, you should be very happy with the results. 3, I wanted to stress to everyone, this is a great tool to execute your trading plan with great efficiency, void of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. However, you still play a major part in its effectiveness. You need to know the market you're trading. 4, I wanted to demonstrate when the GoZone exits even a losing trade, you rarely get stopped out. Again, I said rarely, not never. And lastly, this video will go into our Trading Academy on our website to be used as a training tool as well. As I did before, in the interest of time, I will be speeding up this recording between the times the GoZone ATB performs each task. As you see, as soon as we got confirmation, the GoZone ATB placed our trade. As you remember, we have a 50-point stop. We are risking 2% of our trading account, which means if I get stopped out, I will lose $195. We're using the 75-25 method, so when we come out of the GoZone, the ATB will close out 75% of my trade. You certainly can use 100% when exiting the GoZone as well. That's entirely up to you. We have just exited the GoZone. The ATB closed out 75% of my trade, which gave me a loss of around $50.40. A far cry from my $195 I was risking. However, I still have 25% of my trade still active. So let's continue to watch. The GoZone ATB has now just put us into a second trade on confirmation as our trading plan dictates, which means we are risking another $195 for a total of $390 at risk on these two trades. Let's see how this plays out. I think we know how this plays out since this segment is about losing trades. However, let's see if the end results are what you expect. We just exited the GoZone again, and the ATB closed out 75% of our trade, this time for a loss of $46.50. Again, much less than our 50-point stop loss that we have placed on this trade. Let's see how all of this is going to end. We just came out of a third GoZone. However, since the trade did not confirm by trading below the setup candle, the ATB did not enter us in this trade, so nothing lost. And thankfully, we're moments away from ending this trade. The GoZone ATB just closed out the remainder of our two losing trades. This action was triggered by having the GoZone going in the opposite direction and having the first candle close within the new Go Zone trend. So we're out of the market completely. So to review our losses, on the first trade, we lost $50.40 on exiting the Go Zone and $24.30 on the close of the 25% that was remaining, for a total loss of $74.70. The original risk on this trade was $195, so this is not too bad of a result. On the second trade, we lost $46.50 on the exit of the Go Zone and $25.70 on the close of the last 25%, for a total of $72.20, which brings a grand total of the losing session to $146.90, which is much better than the $390 risk we started with. That being said, some days you're the bug, some days you're the windscreen. Today, in this session, we were the bug. For those of you that think you would have been much better off closing out the trade at 100% upon exiting the Go Zone, the difference on both trades would have amounted to about $17.70 more profit. Stick around for the next segment and you'll see why I would gladly risk that $17.70 any day on the 75-25 method. As promised, this is our last segment today on why to use the 75-25 method. Here's a great example. This is a German market DAX on a 30-minute time frame. I'm going to refer to each one of these trades as trade 1, trade 2, trade 3, and trade 4. So, using the 100% method, entering here, exiting, when it comes out of the Go Zone, you would have made about 12 points. Now, these are all just estimates, obviously. On this trade 2, you would have ended up making about 54 points. Trade 3, around 56 points. This trade did not trigger. And trade 4, you would have made about 142 points. All the numbers I'm rattling off here are listed on the left side of your screen. Follow along and do the math with me. Now, using the 75-25 method, trade 1, you would have made 9 points on the exit. Trade 2, you would have made about 40.5 on the exit. Trade 3, you would have made 42 on the exit. Trade 4, you would have made about 106 on the exit. I know this sounds worse, but stick with me and it'll all become crystal clear in a moment. That last 25% that you still have on here wouldn't have come out until the end of this first candle and an opposite Go Zone. Would have made approximately 509 points. You would get 25% of that. So that would equal 127 points plus the 9 from the initial exit. You would have ended up with 136 points instead of 12 points. Same here. You would have got around 366 points. You get 25% of that. That's about 91.5. Your original exit was 40.5. So you would have ended up with about 132 points instead of the 54 points. On trade 3, again, you would have ended up with around 270 points. You would have gotten 25% of that, 67 points. With the original 42 points that you made on the exit, you would have ended up with 109 points instead of the 56. And last but not least, on this trade, you would have ended up with 120 points on that last 25%, which would have netted you about 30 points, plus original 106, that would have given you 136 points instead of the 142. So bottom line is, a 100% method, in and out, on a day like this, you would have made about 264 points. Using the 75-25 method, you would have made 513 points, almost double. Even though 264 points is an excellent result, 513 is better, obviously. These results would have been almost impossible to achieve trading manually without consuming all of your time. With the GoZone ATB, it would have executed these trades as if you were right there staring at your charts every second. In this example, we definitely were the windscreen. That concludes our presentation for today. You can probably understand why we're so excited about the GoZone ATB. If you have any questions, please go to our website. The link is in the description below. Or simply go to gozonetrading.net and then to our contact page, send us an email or call. I would like to thank you for your time. Until next time, good luck with your trading.